Hey folks, welcome back to our On the Inside pregame show. Peter Terps are down here at Memorial Stadium. Anytime the Huskers can get a win, it's not just for the current team, but it goes a long ways for the next recruits coming in. Let's bring in Josh Harvey from BigRedReport.com here to talk some recruiting. Now, Josh, let's talk about the guys that are going to be in town for this Illinois game.
Yeah, 5 official visitors. Obviously, there'll be a few unofficial visitors. 3 of the 5 are actually committed players, but the big deal here is that 2 of them are from Georgia. So it's a little harder for those type of guys to actually come and visit. One of those commitments actually has never even seen Nebraska before. So it's always a big deal. I think out of the 5, Avery Anderson out of Colorado is probably the biggest recruit here. He's a 4-star guy, but he's here every weekend. So, I mean, it's not a big deal that he's visiting, but hopefully he sets the tone for this class and helps these guys recruit a little bit.
Now, last week, the Huskers got a big win against Miami, and the atmosphere was incredible. Those recruits, I mean, they really got a show with that game. But there were no official commits over the weekend. Where does that leave the Huskers?
Well, there's still plenty of room in this class. I think people were disappointed because you have 10 official visitors, a great atmosphere. You want those early commitments, but the thing is we're still in September. If a guy hasn't made his decision at this point in the ball game, he probably wants to take some more official visits. Now, if that was a weekend in November, I could have seen it, but you really can't judge that weekend until 3-4 months from now, because you might have 4 of those guys committed down the road, but they just want to have something else to compare it to. I can say this, most of the guys that left last weekend, they were all saying that it was a 10 on their visit scale.
I mean, that atmosphere was unbelievable. Great game against Miami. Now, the Huskers have a good amount of recruits that are coming in the fall, but one recruit, very early recruit for 2016, Lincoln Christian's Jared Bubak. How exciting is that for the Huskers to get an early recruit like that?
We haven't seen it very often in the Bo Pelini era for them to land a commitment this early. I think Michael Rose might have been the last guy, and he was definitely not as early. So to be able to get a guy that early, I think it's great. To get a guy that's local, I think is great too, because he's able to be here every weekend, being in the ears of some of the other 2016 prospects they bring in. He can tell them why they chose Nebraska. And when you watch him, I mean, he's a really good football player. I think he's almost close to D1 prospect already. At a position of need, they do need a couple more tight ends going forward, even though a lot of people would argue that they don't use the tight end enough.
All right, Josh Harvey from BigRedReport.com. Huskers taking on Illinois tonight. And this matchup, every game's big, especially starting Big Ten play. Let's bring in Andrew Ward, Channel 8's sports reporter, and he'll preview Illinois for you.
Thanks, Pete. Now, Illinois has a lot of firepower on offense. Of course, a lot of that hinges on whether or not Wes Lunt, the Okie State transfer, will play at all tonight. But still, a lot of talent rallying for that backup Riley O'Toole to toss it around. It's all about the Big Ten now. Nebraska welcomes Illinois to Memorial Stadium Saturday, kicking off the conference season. The Huskers survived the non-conference schedule undefeated. Nebraska now focuses on a Big Ten title.
It is for keeps now. When you get to conference play, and everyone in the conference is 0-0 right now. So for us to get in the conference play and to go out there, I just let my teammates know that this is for keeps. You want to get to that Big Ten championship, you take every opponent and you play them like it's a national championship.
Illinois comes into Saturday with a 3-1 record, losing to Washington 2 weeks ago. For the second straight week, Nebraska's defense will have to deal with a talented runner. Coach Bo Pelini says Illinois running back Josh Ferguson has big playability.
To me, he's one of the better backs, in the conference, and he's a really good back. I mean, he's elusive, he's quick to bounce the football. To me, I think he runs with really good vision.
Under center for the Illini, quarterback Wes Lunt. The sophomore brings a strong arm to the table. He leads one of the Big Ten's more complicated offenses to defend.
He's a throw-first guy and kind of a prototypical pro-style type quarterback. He has some talent. He has really good arm talent.
They are as multiple of an offense as you could be. I mean, I think they have every personnel grouping that you can have as an offense. They have big sets. They have spread 4 wide sets. They run a lot of empty. So they force you to prepare for a lot of different things.
The Illinois defense has some talent, but is statistically the worst in the Big Ten, giving up 32 points a game. It also allows around 170 rushing yards a game. Nebraska players and coaches say the biggest challenge for Nebraska, don't overlook the Illini with a showdown against Michigan State looming in the distance. even though the Huskers smoked Illinois last season.
We got to expect anything when it comes to, this team this year, and just got to make sure that we prepare the right way.
Reporting in Lincoln, Andrew Ward, Channel 8 Eyewitness News Sports. Again, of course, Illinois' success, a lot of it depends on whether or not West London is going to start tonight. And you got to think that Nebraska defense is going to be licking their chops if they got a backup quarterback in there tonight, right?
Riley O'Toole had a few snaps last game because the Illini were getting blown out. Without Westlawn, if he does not play, does not start, huge factor in this game. Let's bring in Brett Edwards. Brett, no Westlawn for the Illini. How big is that?
I think it's really big. Wes Lunt, the Oklahoma State transfer, has played and started for the Illini these first 3 or 4 games, and now you don't have him. And all of a sudden, you don't have him. Riley O'Toole played, like you said, Pete, in the game last year against Nebraska when the Huskers were getting blown out. We'll see when they line up at 8, who's on 8 o'clock, who's at quarterback. Here's how these two teams stack up on paper. Nebraska second in the Big Ten in rushing and 5th nationally. The Huskers lead the Big Ten in offense with 560 yards per game. Illinois has put up big numbers, but against lower quality opponents. Defensively, Illinois is one of the worst in the league, giving up 430 yards per game. The Huskers rank 6th in the conference in rushing defense, 4th in pass defense. The Fighting Illini give up just as many points as they score on offense. Time for one final break. We'll wrap up the show when we come back.
This on the Inside Special is brought to you by Harvey, Schaefer's, Best of Big Red, Casey's General Stores, and Ernie's in Ceresco.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Time when truck guys can depend on great offers on the 2014 North American Truck of the Year. I was born free. Chevy Silverado, from the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road. It's Truck Month. Trade up to this Silverado Crew Cab LT All-Star Edition for a total value of $8,500. See your Heartland Chevy dealers.
It's Schaefer's 68th anniversary event, and to celebrate, we're offering friends and family pricing store-wide. Save on Maytag's new lineup of kitchen appliances. Purchase 4 or more and get up to $500 in rebates. Plus, exclusively at Schaefer's, when you purchase 4 Maytag kitchen appliances, get a Maytag vacuum free. Get our exclusive friends and family pricing during our 68th anniversary event, now at Schaefer's.
All right, sports fans, it's game time at the Built Ford Tough Sales event. And when it comes to trucks, stats don't lie. F-150 with EcoBoost has smash-mouth power with efficiency. And with best-in-class payload, boom, F-150 hauls in the Hail Mary. And here's a stat, pal. F-Series has been America's truck for 37 straight years. And that's a dynasty, baby.
Get up to $8,750 total savings or 0 for 60 plus $4,500 total savings plus a no-charge powertrain service plan.
When it comes to carpeting your home, you want quality, durable carpet. Carpet that's soft. Carpet that's strong. Carpet that fits you. Carpets Direct carries most major brands of carpet, from inexpensive to high-end designer products. Let us help you find the right carpet for your needs. Come see us at Carpets Direct in the Sutter Place Mall for the best value in carpet for your home.
Welcome back to our On the Inside pregame special. Andrew Ward, Peter Terpstra inside Memorial Stadium right now. And Pete, this Illinois game, it's kind of a trap game in between, sandwiched in between that Miami, that Michigan State game next weekend that's looming in, primetime matchup. It's going to be interesting to see how Nebraska comes out here and attacks this Illinois team that, let's face it, probably isn't as talented as Nebraska is this year.
You said it, trap game, definitely. They'd have to come out fast, come out early, and play very well, very quickly. That has to be how the Huskers are going to win this game. They can't fall into being too confident. Roll. Brett, we're going to send it back to you with your final thoughts in the studio.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see who does line up at quarterback to start the game for Illinois, whether it is Wes Lunt or Riley O'Toole. That'll be a big factor in this game. Keep an eye on Illinois running back Josh Ferguson. I don't think Nebraska has a problem tonight. They will avoid the trap, setting up a huge showdown next week against Michigan State. 8 o'clock, Nebraska, Illinois. You can watch it on BTN right here on Channel 8 at 7 o'clock. Coming up in a couple of minutes, Notre Dame and Syracuse. We'll see you after that game.
Look,